Basketball fans, welcome back. So I've not been able to release as many videos this week, and our regular scheduled programming was interrupted by power outages in my area, but right now we are back. So I'm back with more Dallas Mavericks news, and things are just getting from bad to worse, going from bad to worse for the Dallas Mavericks. So GM Nico Harrison, he was reportedly forced by the Mavericks ownership to hold an end of the season press conference. So there was a curveball in this whole end of the season press conference because no media member was allowed to film anything, video, audio on this whole situation. And GM Nico Harrison wanted to go by without taking any accountability of how the season of the Dallas Mavericks has ended. And he had no intention of hosting an end of the season press conference, similar to what other teams have been doing it. So this is actually quite off, and it rubbed the ownership the wrong way because the ownership are under too much pressure from the fan base. The fan base do not like GM Nico Harrison because of that decision to trade away Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for an injury-prone Anthony Davis. So things are not looking good for the Dallas Mavericks right now, courtesy of GM Nico Harrison. And I'm not saying that he's the one who has caused the injuries, but he's the one who traded away the Dallas Mavericks' best player. I mean, an all-NBA talent like that, 25 years of age, you traded him away. So he was bound to get a lot of backlash. So through the weeks that went by after that trade, that we got to see Luka Doncic he went to the Los Angeles Lakers. I've been releasing videos covering the whole situation. We have fans, going with banners into the arena. We have had Fire Nico chants. At some point, even death threats were being sent to GM Nico Harrison based on this whole situation. Even saw a fan even go to the, I think the county hall where he went ahead and, talked about that whole situation. So it's been a very bad look for the Dallas Mavericks franchise. And there's one comment that I even saw that that rubbed me off the wrong way. And it was about, Nico Harrison saying that, I'm going to do whatever is best for this organization. Regardless of, what Dirk Nowitzki, a Mavs legend, and Mark Cuban think, people who have, dedicated time and effort to bring the Mavs to where they are right now. So that was very disrespectful. So the Dallas Mavericks had a very extremely embarrassing season to the point where at some point they were almost forfeiting games because they didn't even have people on the bench to play. So the embarrassing season went from bad to worse this week as GM Nico Harrison decided to speak to the media about the season gone by. And this was a restrictive press conference where GM Nico Harrison refused to let the media members record the interaction in a bizarre move, which was received in the wrong way. And people condemn this act because a lot of times you have to be accountable to the public, and they didn't want this to leak because a lot of people would, be up in arms on this. So given how badly Nico Harrison didn't want his comments on the trade to be broadcasted to the public through video or audio, it is not surprising that Shams Charania and Tim McMahon have both reported that Mavs Governor Patrick Dumont forced Nico Harrison into doing that interview. So I'm going to leave a link to a video that I saw making its rounds, and then you're going to come back.
But for you, what I don't understand, and again, people scrutinize this trade and have opinions of it. Why did they do this closed door? I don't think that really sat well with anybody. Forget about, the local fan, but anybody. It didn't go over very well.
So, Bob, my understanding is Nico Harrison did not want to do this closed door round table. This was not his idea. This was something that was enforced by their owner, Patrick Dumont.
Really? And again, I mean, it's hard to run these things. It is hard to run these things. But in a situation like that, I think they were trying to repair some things. It felt like that. But it felt like some of the comments didn't land.
Sometimes less is better. Sometimes less is better. You probably already said enough.
What does it tell you, though, that the owner is essentially enforcing this onto the GM?
Well, again, I don't owning a team, you get to do what you want to do, Sean. You get to do what you want to do. But this, I guess I would, anybody in the organization, the Mavericks organization, I don't think they could foresee this, right? And maybe it's because Kyrie got hurt. Maybe it's because, Anthony Davis didn't play right away. They referenced the 2.5 quarters that showed what they could do. But I think what they're doing now is we got to respond to this.
So, as per Shams, you could see Shams even came out and said Nico Harrison did not want to do this closed door roundtable. Even if it was closed door, the man did not want to, take accountability on that. This was not his idea. This was something that he was enforced by the owner, Patrick Dumont. So, transcripts from the press conference proved why Nico Harrison didn't want video proof on the internet of his questionable decision making, and admits that he had no regrets over the deal, and he kept repeating this statement: defense wins championship. So the man is coming out and saying he doesn't have any regrets, but you're going to see, they're going to regret. If the Lakers are able to make it to the Western Conference Finals and the Dallas Mavericks are not knocked off in the first round, I mean, the backlash will come, and it's going to be very, very difficult. So there was also another controversial comment, which Nico Harrison was called out in the middle of his press conference, was after he claimed that the Mavericks didn't think Luka will have signed the Supermax extension the team could offer him this summer. So that is some wild and outrageous things that he came out and said. So Nico Harrison, he came out and said, well, there's no guarantee he'll have signed the Supermax, but, Tim McMahon came out and said he has guaranteed. The man was balling on the bench. Like, come on. Nico Harrison, he came out and said, well, like I said, we can agree to disagree, and that's fine. But we targeted AD. So you can see the man is trying to cope, and you're seeing the man is refusing to accept any accountability that comes with, that whole decision. So the answers that GM Nico Harrison gave was so unconvincing that it has done more damage to him and the Mavericks this week. So the downfall of the Dallas Mavericks started when we saw the trade that was orchestrated by Nico Harrison behind closed doors. I know I'm a Laker fan. I really like to see, my Lakers win, but I didn't like the fact that, this trade happened behind closed doors. And the way Nico Harrison is, taking the high road and talking about these things, it's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. So GM Nico Harrison is backed by the Mavericks ownership and was empowered to make this decision. So, but if the owners forced Harrison to stop the PR nightmare they're facing through this press conference, they've become uncomfortable with how the situation is progressing. So it's crazy, man. I mean, this whole situation, the Mavs, is just sad because it doesn't look like Nico Harrison will lose his job right now, but he's going to be, he's not going to be bulletproof if the Mavs don't win a title, and if the ownership sees that the Dallas Mavericks have become a laughingstock of the NBA, there's a high likelihood that he's gonna get fired. We have seen GMs drop like flies. We have seen coaches get fired. You saw Mike Malone, somebody who led the Denver Nuggets to a championship 2023 get fired. We've seen a couple of Mike Budenholzer was fired. So it was crazy. So GM Nico Harrison, he already burnt ties between the franchise and legend Dirk Nowitzki and also former Governor Mark Cuban. So he made some, very, very bad comments that, people did not like. So his 3-year contract won't be honored if the Dallas Mavericks doesn't find a way to return to title contention in the next 2 seasons. So the financial cost of losing Doncic to the Lakers has already been tremendous. And it looks like the Dallas Mavericks right now, things are not looking good at all. And I must say, we're going to see this guy eat humble pie. I know this guy can take the high road. He can act like everything is okay. But one thing is for sure. If the Mavs ownership see that the organization is just, losing games and they have the worst, stretch of games, not even this season, but in this postseason, I don't think they can even get past the first round. I don't think they have what it takes to get even past the first round, because look at Doncic with the heart and soul of that team in the offense. Without Kyrie, everything's just going to go downhill, and AD is not going to carry this team. He couldn't carry the Lakers. What makes the Dallas Mavericks ownership and GM think that AD was going to carry the Dallas Mavericks? It's not going to happen. So first round exit as best, and AD has just found himself in a New Orleans Pelicans 2.0. And it's just a sad situation all around. And GM Nico Harrison, he's going to get fired. And the writing is on the wall and his days are numbered. If the Dallas Mavericks are not able to make it back to the NBA Finals, which is going to be very difficult, the man's going to get fired. He's going to get fired similar to how the coaches get fired. And you can see, even with the whole, this man just tries to take the high road, you can see he's regretting this decision. He can even come out and say he has no regrets. But you don't look at the person, the words that they speak, but look at their actions. If the man is so confident that he didn't need Luka Doncic, and Luka Doncic was not that person who's going to lead the Dallas Mavericks to a championship, then why is it that the man hides in a tunnel to watch the home games? Why is it that he avoids public, press conference? Why is it that he insisted that there shouldn't be any video or audio captured? And he thought that this is just going to slide. The man knows he's made a blunder, and these things get personal, especially when the whole fan base turns on you. They don't respect you anymore. When the fan base doesn't respect you anymore, like the people outside and the people who are, even the other fans, even the Dallas Mavericks faithfuls will come out and, disrespect you openly to the point where it's going to have a ripple effect to how generally the league looks at you. And no organization will want to touch somebody like that. So, I mean, the man is in full-on regret mode. He doesn't want to acknowledge it. It will be too soon. If he does that, he's going to get fired. I know he has a job to protect, but if the Dallas Mavericks don't win the title with his whole mantra of defense wins championships, the man is going to be out of the league soon, and he's going to be in NBA purgatory. I don't think there's any organization, any franchise want to touch a guy like GM Nico Harrison. Nobody will want to touch him, because even Nico Harrison was getting backhanded this from NBA insiders, calling him a desperate GM based on how he was able to pull a trigger on that AD and Luka trade behind closed doors. So it is what it is. So this is a very sad situation for the Dallas Mavericks. I am not a Dallas Mavericks fan by any stretch. I actually hate the Dallas Mavericks. I hate this team because of 2011, the way the Dallas Mavericks beat the Miami Heat LeBron James led Miami Heat. So I do not like the Dallas Mavericks. So this is good. I'm seeing them fall, but it's bad when I see like a guy like Luka Doncic, when his tribute was, being rolled up when at the end of the season when he went to play in Dallas. When he returned, you could see the man was visibly crying. Nico Harrison just broke him. You could see a superstar in Luka Doncic. He wanted to be a Mavs fan, Mavs player for life. I don't know how to say Mavs fan for life. A Mavs player for life, man. Even bought a house and he did dirty. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below what you think about this situation. I mean, it's a very pathetic situation. I wish that GM Nico Harrison gets fired from the Dallas Mavericks. All I'm just saying is I just wish this man just eats humble pie and he never enjoys any Dallas Mavericks home game. So this is what it is. So do drop me your comments in the comments. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.